So we got an update here on the Toro Workmaster that we restored, and we did a series of videos on that restoration as we were restoring this. And so, as you know, at any project that you do a full restoration on, after they get using the machine, you get run into a couple things that you need to address, take care of after that's been done. So it's back, and we did the engine oil change. It's got a couple dozen hours on it since we did the engine rebuild. So we got the engine oil and the filter changed, and we checked the hydraulic system oil level. We did find a small oil leak under the seat on one of the hoses that attaches to the hydraulic oil cooler on the front of the engine, or on the front of the engine where the radiator is for the hydraulics. And I just found that I could tighten it like a quarter or 3/8 of a turn. So I got that oil leak fixed, and then we power washed everything. And then we had that oil, the gasoline leak. I think I got a video of that. Yeah, I'll show you a video of that. We repaired that. So on top of where the fuel sending unit screws into the tank, it's attached to a flat flange on the plastic tank. And that flange surface was all warped between the screws. So we had leakage between the gasket and the fuel gauge sending unit. So we had some leakage out coming out the top as if the tank was full and you're swishing it. So what we did is we did some epoxying, like some plastic bonder, and we got the surface all smooth. So I'll show you that. And then the engine oil air filter was really dusty. I don't know, he's gonna have to keep a sharp eye on this, because apparently there's a lot of road dust that accumulates in here or happens, and the filter was pretty clogged, and it only had 40 some hours on it since we rebuilt the engine and restored the machine. Now also, and I don't think I took any video of it, I'll show you, but this seat back, that's for a rear golf cart seat that we used here, already broke out the mounting, the brass mountings that they molded into the plastic backing. And I think they did it backwards. If they would have put the inserts from the back side, then you screwing it on would have pulled against the plastic end of the nut, and it wouldn't have tore out. But what I did is I had a local blacksmith make me a 3-inch piece of 1-inch flat bar, and welded some 1/4-inch nuts to it. That was the exact spacing where it fit into those plastic. The plastic on the back had some bushings in the plastic, and those 1/4-inch nuts on a 3-inch strip just perfectly fit in. And I epoxied them in. So that you could just hold this against this and screw it right on. So that's what we did on that. And then also the blacksmith got me this nice aluminum diamond plating strip that's really reinforcing it. That's really the way to get this, that's really the way that's going to make this rigid, is this. Because without this diamond plating, there's no rigidity to this back, and it would just break, probably just break out in a bigger area. Now, so that's all done. The seat back has been restored. And I think it's way stronger than it was. I don't know what that sound is. I don't know if that was an animal or something. But hopefully there was no animal inside this, because it's been sitting out here for a few days. And right now it's so cold. It's dipping into the teens at night. So animals move into stuff. So I'm hoping we didn't get any animal underneath this here that's going to run into my garage now. So we got the seat done. That was the owner's request. We fixed the seat, changed the engine oil. I did the filter. And I also threw away that air filter because I think its seal did not do a good job, and it let dust get past the air filter in there. So I threw that filter away. I didn't even bother cleaning it. Now, the other request you had, and you can, I'm already giving you a hint here. I cut out one of the spokes on the steering. So one of the requests that I got for this is if I could put on a smaller steering. This is a 15-inch diameter steering. And when you sit on here, it's pretty close to you. You know, I'll give you a look here. It's a pretty cramped quarters. Now, if you know about like golf cart steerings are much smaller. You can actually get like 12.5-inch golf cart steerings or a lawn tractor steering. But in order to do that, you would have to match this spline in here. I had one heck of a time getting this off. it's been on for what, 45 years. And so I had a hard time getting this off, and I had to cut out a third of it to get it off. And even then I had to wiggle it side to side to get it off where it was rusted on. And so I got her off, I measured and researched, and this is a splined, your typical spline shaft like you would see in a golf cart or something like that. And so the brakes on this were from Easy Go from the 1970s. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to guess that this steering shaft is perhaps from the same, if the brakes are from Easy Go from the 70s, perhaps the steering would be as well. So I got this steering adapter. It's a machined solid piece of steel, and we're going to go ahead and, I just got some parts here from UPS. So we're going to see, I'm going to get this cleaned up. If they would have used anti-seize on this for 45 years ago, it would have just came off like a boss. So we're going to dab a bit of anti-seize on it, one we put on a steering that fits. So there you go. You can see the spline, and then you got threads, and there's like a big nut that holds it all on. So I'm gonna grab my coffee. We got the coffee here. I'm gonna sell some anti-seize. Oh, that's good coffee. Whew. Good coffee. So I'll show you what I got here. I'll show you the adapter I got. So this is an adapter, and they make various styles of these. Apparently the different manufacturers in the golf and turf and the electric work carts that they use in factories, they used a couple different styles. And so you got to get the correct adapter for that would fit on here. And the same thing like when you do a golf cart steer. So I got this, that's for a 1970s Easy Go. Let's just go ahead and see if we got the right one. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's snug. It's not going anywhere. So what we need now is there's a nut that goes in here that would hold it on, and then we're going to hold it on. But I think before we even do that, see how it's wedging on? I'm going to put some anti-seize in here so that in 10, 20 years, this aluminum machine, this is aluminum and it's anodized black. You can get different colors, but I got it in black. I think it would look best because the steering column is black. So we're going to dab in some anti-seize in those splines so that in 20 or 30 or 40 or 50, heaven forbid last that long, but what if it does? Then it will still be removed. You would want it to come off easily, and it would have taken like 5 cents worth of anti-seize back in the day. And I've seen cases where you wish you wouldn't have put anti-seize on, but this is kind of one where I think you should. This is a case where I wish somebody would have put anti-seize on it. We're going to put some on. We're just going to dab it. There. We got some good anti-seize on there. Maybe too much, who knows, but can you put too much? So we got it all nicely dabbed up. So for anti-seize, we're just using this. This is really good stuff. This is the Permatex one, the silver colored anti-seize. This is good stuff. So we got a nice cover. So we're going to go ahead and find the original nut that held the original steering on there. And I'm going to slide the adapter on there. Now, another thing with these adapters, once you get an adapter like this that fits your steering, do you have a pattern here for 5-bolt and 6-bolt steerings? And the sky is the limit what you can use as far as a steering in 5-bolt and 6-bolt designs. So now I'm getting another revelation here. that if we put this adapter on, we want it to line up with the wheel being straight forward. So we want it to be lined up with the wheel, the steering wheel. Oh my goodness, inevitable. I just got anti-seize on my hand. And even though it's only a speck of anti-seize, that speck grows and grows. You can touch 10 things with that one speck on your finger and you will get anti-seize on everything that you touch. I gotta get it off my hand. Now I think you better have some hardware for us. That will not be cool if we don't have hardware. That would not be cool. I'm not going to show you the steering just yet. We'll get to that. We'll get to the steering here in a second. We need to get ourselves the correct torques. Are they torques or Allen? They almost look like Allen. Rather than torques. Are they torques? That's not that. I don't know. They look like Allen wrench. I think I'm wrong. I think they're an Allen too. Get out of here now. There we go. You're an Allen too. We'll get it. It's super cold. I'm almost feeling like I should close the door. I mean, I like the light because it makes a better video. Okay, so we got. What's that? What was that? What was that? What was that? Yeah. We dropped one of the screws. What allergies are acting? So what we're doing is we're taking the steering, the cap off of the steering, the decorative cap, and we're going to figure out which way the steering adapter should go on so that it lines up. When the wheel is turned straight ahead. Okay, I'm going to show you the cool steering that we got. So the request was that we get a smaller steering for it, and I opted for this fiber carbon one. Look at this cool thing. So this is 12.5 inches in diameter, and then it's got a flat area on the bottom. So that will give us literally an inch of more space on the bottom, near where you are. So that when it's on like that, look at that. So not only is the steering 2.5 inches smaller in diameter, but it's also flat on the bottom. So I think this is a good choice for this. So now when we go to put it on, we got to get the wheel straight. So we got the front wheel straight, and we're going to put this like that, but we got to make sure that the bolt pattern on this adapter lines up with the wheel straight forward and with this. So that's what we got to do. So let's see if we get this correct. This is the pilot one. This is the top, this guy. So we're going to put this straight ahead. I'm going to put this guy straight ahead, put her on the spline, and you're straight ahead, like that. So if he's straight, if the wheel is straight, let me make sure. If the wheel is straight ahead, then we want, let's see, we want that to be straight ahead as well. And I think we're off. I think we are off. So I'm going to turn that. Let's see. I would pull that back and then turn it a bit. Yeah, there you go. I would say something like that, or maybe a notch back towards the center, like that. Because you got all those splines. You can make it whatever you want. Okay, so we verified that the steering is indeed straight. and it is correctly on display. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to tighten her down. We're going to use an impact because it's way easier, and we don't want it to give us any trouble down the road. So we're going to use an impact. This is the original nut. It's 15/16. I do believe it's fine thread. So they didn't have a washer originally, and it's a very heavy machined adapter, so I don't think it needs a washer. So we're going to go ahead and tighten it down. I'm going to make sure it's straight. Straight, like that. Nope. And this is tight. I'm trying to get my finger down there to see. It's all the way down. It looks like it's all the way down. Okay. And we got a nice amount of anti-seize. And we're going to use the Allen bit on the tip of a screwdriver and make it easier. So we got this. This is the plastic decorative cap that covers it so that we don't get any water here in the center. And it's also the mounting bolts that mounts this to the adapter. We're going to place it on there. We're going to line them up. I might have to use my trusty line here. There we go. We'll line them up, the first one. And once you get the first one lined up, the rest are usually pretty easy. And I don't think this is direction. I think this is all the same. Let's see. Oh, nice. The first one, this one. So stuff like this, you always want to go easy on it. You don't want it to cross thread because you're going into aluminum with steel bolts. So be easy. If it doesn't go easy, there's something wrong when you're threading something in like this. Usually use 2 fingers on, use a screwdriver. And then once we get them all in properly like this, then we can take their, they gave us one of those Allen tools that we can tighten them all individually, just to be sure they're correct. You don't want to slip and scratch the carbon fiber. To see this is all carbon fiber. It looks pretty good too. We're just going to tighten them with 2 fingers and I'm going to inspect it, and if it looks good, then we'll just tighten them down. You don't need to go ham. I mean, you got 6 screws on here. So there we go. Look at that. That's pretty sharp. Pretty sharp. So, what do you think? Did it turn out? I think it did. I think it turned out fantastic. It looks good too. So look at all the room. So I'm going to get a measurement, and we're going to figure out just how much more space you get between your lap and the steering. The coffee's cold. Turning cold in a hurry. It's almost like that isn't even doing any good. So the original one was 15 inches. This is 12.5. So 12.5 plus 2.5 will get me 15. So this is 2.5 inches. It's 2.5 inches smaller in diameter. 2.5 is like 2.5 is like this much less in diameter. That's considerable. That gives you at least 1.25 inches on this side alone. Now, if you have this, oh, so this 12 inches still, even with that insert. Interesting. I thought it was going to be less, being that it's flat on the bottom like this. Let's measure again. This is 12.5, and this is less than 12. So it's almost 1 inch smaller. So this is almost 1 inch smaller on the flat side. So we're getting like 2 inches less interference. This is good. This is really good. So I think we are done. I think this is ready to go back to its owner. And this is the end of the road. We got all the niggles that reappeared, we got taken care of. I have not swished it around with that fuel gauge sending unit fixed properly, but we did a really good job on that. I'm pretty certain it's fixed. And we addressed the engine, so that was our friend coming back for a visit, the Toro Workmaster that we restored. If you want to see the whole series that we did on YouTube where we restored this, you can see the rest of my channel. And so long for now.